Amber leaves scatter across a quiet two-lane road, winding through a postcard-perfect small town called Maplewood. The camera pans past old brick stores, a rustic diner, and a high school football field glowing in the soft orange of October sunset. A gentle acoustic guitar track hums in the background. Sometimes, love doesn't walk into your life. It crashes, hard, like a car that didn't see the stop sign. Inside, the smell of pancakes and maple syrup fills the air. Emma Carter, 27, sits in a booth near the window, laptop open, messy bun, wearing an oversized sweater. She's a freelance writer, sharp, funny, and tired of city noise. She came here from Chicago a month ago, looking for peace. She stares at a half-written article titled, "Why People Run Away from Themselves." Waitress, friendly, older. "Refill, honey?" Emma, "Sure, maybe the caffeine will give me a personality." They both laugh lightly. Outside, an old blue truck pulls up. A man steps out, tall, rugged, in worn jeans and a flannel jacket. Jackson Reed, 30, a local mechanic, born and raised in Maplewood. There's a calm sadness in his eyes, the kind that doesn't go away easily. He walks in, nods to the waitress, and takes a seat at the counter. Their eyes meet for a second, just a flicker, enough for a spark to appear and vanish. They didn't know it yet, but October had plans for them. Emma closes her laptop and stands to leave. She turns too quickly, coffee cup in hand, and bumps right into Jackson. Hot coffee spills. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." No, it's fine, my fault, I wasn't looking." Their eyes meet again, longer this time. Emma, awkwardly smiling, "Great, my first Vermont impression. I attack strangers with caffeine." Jackson, grinning, "Could be worse. You could have hit me with a pumpkin spice latte. That stuff's deadly." They both laugh, the kind of laughter that feels easy, even for two strangers. Waitress, "Jackson, I told you that seat was cursed. Every girl who spills coffee on you ends up falling for you." Jackson blushes. Emma smiles politely, not realizing that the waitress wasn't entirely wrong. Emma walks home under the golden trees. She rents a small cottage near a lake. The town is quiet, except for the hum of cicadas and the crunch of leaves under her boots. Her phone buzzes, a text from her best friend, Lucy, in Chicago. "So, how's your new life? Found your Vermont lumberjack yet?" Emma rolls her eyes and types back, "Just met one, spilled coffee on him, 10 out of 10 first impression." She smiles faintly. Sometimes love doesn't walk into your life. It crashes, hard, like a car that didn't see the stop sign. The sun sinks behind the Vermont hills, painting the lake in molten orange. Jackson stands by his truck, loading tools. Emma lingers, watching the reflection of the sky ripple in the water. Emma, "You come here a lot?" Jackson shrugs. "Every day. It's quiet. You can hear yourself think." Emma, "That's dangerous. I try not to think too much." He smirks, the first real smile she's seen on him. Jackson, "So, what brings you to Maplewood? Nobody moves here unless they're running from something." She hesitates, looks at the horizon. Emma, "Maybe I am. Chicago stopped feeling like home. I wrote articles for people who didn't care. I was tired of noise that didn't mean anything." He nods, understanding more than she knows. Jackson, "Noise can drown you if you let it." A long pause. The only sound is wind brushing through the trees. Emma, softly, "And you? What keeps you here?" Jackson's jaw tightens. He doesn't answer for a time. Jackson, "Some memories are like ghosts. You move too far away, they follow you. Stay where they began, and they stay quiet." She studies him. Something about his voice feels heavy, worn down by time. In that silence, they both felt it, the pull of two people who didn't want to be saved, but didn't want to be alone anymore either. A week later,
Emma browses through a small bookstore filled with wooden shelves and the scent of coffee. She picks up a second-hand copy of The Great Gatsby. Shop owner, old man. That one's popular this time of year. Must be something about tragic love that fits with the falling leaves. She smiles faintly. Suddenly, Jackson walks in, grease-stained shirt, toolbox in hand. Hey, fancy seeing you here. Emma. Either fate or small-town coincidence. Jackson. Probably both. Shop owner. Jackson, you still owe me for fixing the register last month. Jackson, grinning. Put it on my tab, and throw in that book she's holding. Emma, surprised. You don't have to. Jackson. Call it a peace offering. For the coffee incident. She takes the book, amused but flustered. You know, you can't just buy your way out of caffeine crimes. Jackson. Guess I'll have to keep trying then. They share that small-town kind of laughter that warms more than it should. Emma and Jackson walking through the farmer's market, sampling apple cider. Jackson teaching her how to drive his old manual pickup. She stalls the engine and laughs uncontrollably. A shot of them painting the side of her cottage. He ends up with a streak of blue paint on his cheek. She wipes it off, accidentally brushing his skin too long. They sit on the hood of his truck under a starlit sky, saying nothing, because silence between them feels safe now. Love doesn't always arrive with fireworks. Sometimes it shows up like the seasons, slow, steady, and impossible to ignore. Emma types on her laptop. The screen glows in the dim light. Some people come into your life like a season, brief, breathtaking, and forever changing the way you see the world. She stares at it, thinking of him. There's a knock. She opens the door to find Jackson standing there, holding 2 mugs of hot chocolate. Jackson. Figured you might be working late. Thought I'd bring something that can't burn anyone. Emma, grinning. You learn fast. They sit by the fireplace, mugs in hand. The room is filled with warmth and the smell of cinnamon. Emma. Do you ever think about leaving Maplewood? Jackson. All the time. Then I remember my memories wouldn't fit anywhere else. She looks at him. Something shifts in her expression. Emma. You lost someone. Jackson. Exhales, long and slow. Claire, my fiancée, 2 years ago. Drunk driver hit us on the way home from a concert. I made it. She didn't. Emma. Lowers her eyes. Emma. Quietly. I'm so sorry. Jackson. It's okay. I stopped talking about it a while ago. People stop asking after a year. But the silence never really goes away. He looks into the fire. You start to believe maybe love's not supposed to come twice. Emma studies him, the way his voice trembles, the way his hands fidget with the mug. Emma. Maybe it doesn't come twice. Maybe it just never really leaves. It just kind of changes form. He looks at her, really looks at her. The air thickens, the kind of silence that carries 1,000 unspoken words. Jackson. Softly. You write like that? Emma. Sometimes. Mostly about people who want to disappear. Jackson. Guess we'd make a hell of a story then. The town hosts its annual fall festival. Music, pie contests, laughter echoing in the crisp air. Emma and Jackson wander through the crowd. Kids run past holding candy apples. The smell of popcorn fills the air. Emma. Do you ever think maybe life's trying to give you a do-over? Jackson. Maybe, but I don't trust do-overs. Emma. Why not? Jackson. Because I'm scared I'll mess it up again. She touches his arm gently. Emma. Then maybe that's how you know it's worth trying. In dance tent, later. A live country band plays a slow tune. Lanterns sway overhead. Couples dance under soft lights. Emma hesitates near the edge. Jackson. You dance? Emma. Only when nobody's watching. Jackson. Lucky for you,
Everyone's too busy watching themselves." She laughs, takes his hand. They move slowly, awkwardly at first, then smoother. Her head rests on his chest. His heartbeat is steady, something grounding about it. In that moment, surrounded by strangers, it felt like the world had finally gone quiet. The music fades, but they don't stop moving. They walk under the string lights, holding paper cups of cider. Emma: "You know, this could make a great story." Jackson: "Small-town guy meets city girl. Coffee, docs, tragic backstory. You'd have readers crying by chapter 5. Emma: "Or rolling their eyes." Jackson: "Depends on the ending." She looks at him, her eyes glinting in the lantern glow. Emma: "And what would that be?" Jackson: "I don't know yet. Maybe you should write it." They reach the dock, the same dock where they first met. The moonlight ripples on the water. Jackson: "You ever think about what makes people stay?" Emma: "Hope or fear? Sometimes both." Jackson: "You think you'll stay?" She pauses, searching his face. Emma: "I don't know, but I'm not ready to leave." He takes a step closer, close enough that she can smell cedar and lake water. Their eyes lock. For a second, the world disappears. Then, softly, she leans in. It's not a movie kiss. It's slower, real, the kind that feels like coming home after years of wandering. When two broken hearts find each other, the world doesn't explode. It exhales. And for the first time in years, both of them could breathe again.
Mist rolls across the water. The trees are almost bare now. The last orange leaves cling stubbornly to the branches. Emma sits on the dock with a thermos and her laptop. Her fingers hover over the keyboard. The cursor blinks on a blank page titled Maplewood, the town that healed me. She smiles softly, thinking of him. Sometimes love doesn't demand grand declarations. It grows quietly, like roots beneath frozen soil. Jackson tunes an engine, humming under his breath. There's a lightness in him now, something that wasn't there before. Cal, older coworker: "You've been smiling too much lately, Reed. Either you fixed the Mustang or someone fixed you." Jackson smirks. "Maybe both." Cal: "That the girl rider?" Jackson tries not to grin. "She's different." "Different good or different dangerous?" Jackson shrugs. "Haven't figured that out yet." Emma sits at an outdoor cafe, laptop open, typing fast. She's on a video call with Lucy, her best friend in Chicago. "Hold on, you're smiling. In Vermont. What's his name?" "Jackson, mechanic. Fixes cars and broken docks. Has this quiet thing about him, like he's been through fire and came out made of rain." Lucy pauses. "You sound happy. Haven't heard that tone in years." Emma looks out at the falling leaves. "Yeah, I think I am." Wind howls outside. Rain splatters the windows. Emma's typing by candlelight when suddenly power goes out. She sighs, wraps a blanket around herself, and reaches for her phone. No signal. A few minutes later, headlights flash outside. She opens the door. It's Jackson, soaked from the rain, holding a lantern. "Power's out across town. Figured you might not have backup heat." "So you risked pneumonia to bring me a lantern?" "And hot soup? Priorities." She steps aside, smiling. They sit on the floor near the fireplace, eating soup from mugs. The firelight flickers across their faces. "You always play the hero?" "Only when there's soup involved." She laughs, softly, freely. Jackson, now serious: "Truth is, I didn't know where else to go. The house felt too empty tonight." She looks at him, then reaches out and takes his hand.
wordlessly. In the quiet, something unspoken passed between them, a promise not of forever, but of now. Jackson and Emma walking through town as the first snow falls, catching flakes on their gloves. She writes by the fire while he reads beside her, their legs brushing. Him showing her how to change a tire, her laughing when grease smudges her cheek, them lying in the back of his truck under a quilt, stargazing in silence. The same diner where they first met. The waitress grins when she sees them together. "I knew it! Told you she'd fall for you, Jackson Reed." Emma blushes. Jackson, grinning. "Guess you were right." She usually is. They sit. The coffee arrives. "You've been writing more lately." "Yeah. Something's shifting. Like I finally have something worth saying again." He nods, proud but quiet. "Maybe you should publish it." "Maybe." Her phone buzzes. An email notification. She glances at it and freezes. Bad news? She reads, "It's from the New York Chronicle. They want to meet. They read one of my essays. They're offering a feature column. In-person interview next week." She looks stunned, hopeful, but scared. "That's amazing." "It's in New York." Silence falls. They walk together in the cold, hands shoved in pockets. "It's everything I wanted, or used to want, but it means leaving again." "Then you should go." She stops, surprised. "Just like that?" "You can't build your future around me, Emma. I'm barely building mine." His words sting, but there's truth in them. "That's not what I'm trying to do." "I know, but you're meant for bigger things. I don't want to be the reason you don't chase them." He walks ahead, leaving her staring after him as snow falls harder. Love doesn't always ask you to stay. Sometimes it dares you to go and see if your heart follows. Jackson works late, wiping oil off his hands. His coworker Cal watches quietly. "You let her go that easy?" "It's what she's meant for." "And what about you?" "Me? I fix things. That's all I know." Cal sighs. "Maybe this time it's you that needs fixing." Jackson doesn't reply. Emma stares at her packed suitcase. The snow outside is relentless, covering everything in white silence. She picks up her phone, hesitates, then types a message. "I wish I didn't have to choose." But she doesn't send it. The Maplewood station is small, quiet. The sound of the train echoes through the crisp air. Emma stands there with her suitcase, watching her breath fog in the cold. She looks at her ticket. New York City, one way. Her phone buzzes, a voicemail from Jackson. Jackson, VO. "Hey, it's me. I know you're probably already on your way. I just wanted to say, don't look back. Not for me. You've got words to write and a world waiting to read them. And if Maple would ever start to feel like home again, you'll know where to find me." Her eyes glisten. She doesn't move. The whistle blows. The train begins to pull away, but she doesn't board. Jackson drives his truck towards town, lost in thought. Snow falls steadily. Suddenly he sees someone walking along the roadside, suitcase in hand. He slows down. It's Emma. He stops the truck, rolls down the window. "You missed your train." "Maybe it wasn't mine." He steps out, standing in the snow. "You sure about this?" "No, but I'm sure about you." A long pause. Then he steps forward and pulls her into his arms. They kiss, deep, desperate, real, as snowflakes swirl around them. Some love stories aren't about leaving or staying. They're about choosing, every single day, despite the storms. Later, they sit by the fire again. She leans against his shoulder, his hand tracing circles on his arm. "You know I'll still go someday. Maybe not tomorrow, but someday. Then I'll be proud when you do. You'll be here?" Always. The storm clears. Golden light breaks through gray clouds. Jackson and Emma walk along the frozen lake, leaving footprints side by side. The heart doesn't need forever. It just needs moments that remind it why it beats.
The lake is frozen now. Children skate across the ice while parents watch from the edge. The air smells like pine and snow. Emma stands alone, bundled in a gray scarf, watching her breath drift away. She holds a notebook. Its first page reads, "To love someone is to trust time." By December, Maplewood had fallen silent again. The trees were bare, the sky heavy, and even the lake seemed to hold its breath. But some silences are louder than words. Jackson works with gloves on, breath visible in the cold air. He wipes his forehead and checks his phone. No new messages. Cal, grinning. "You check that thing like a teenager waiting for prom night." Jackson. "She's been busy writing. I get it." Cal. "You sure it's not more than that?" Jackson forces a smile. Jackson. "She's got a whole world to build. I just fix the ones that fall apart." Cal shakes his head and walks off. Jackson stares at his phone again, thumb hovering over her name, Emma Carter. He doesn't call. Emma types furiously. The fire burns low. Her essay glows on the laptop screen. Love isn't a destination. It's a rhythm, a coming and going, a distance that teaches you how to return. Her phone buzzes, a message from the New York Chronicle editor. "Opportunity still open. We'd love to have you join for spring features. Let's talk next week." She closes the laptop and leans back. The weight of the decision presses on her chest. Sometimes dreams whisper louder when the world is quiet. And sometimes love is the only sound that can drown them out. Jackson fixing cars under a gray sky, occasionally glancing at the empty road that leads to her cottage. Emma writing in her notebook by candlelight, the snow falling endlessly outside. Jackson sitting in the diner, 2 coffees on the table, one untouched. Emma looking out her window at night, clutching her phone, then setting it down. Emma walks in holding a sealed envelope. The clerk smiles politely as she stamps it. On the envelope, "To Jackson Reed, Maplewood Garage." Jackson's covered in grease when Cal hands him the letter. Cal. "You've got mail, Romeo." He wipes his hands, opens it carefully. Emma's voice overlays her letter. "Hey you. I keep trying to write something profound, but everything sounds smaller than what I feel. I thought coming here would help me find peace. Instead, I found you, and now peace feels impossible without you in it. The Chronicle wants me to write again. Maybe I should. But part of me wonders if stories only matter when you have someone to tell them to. I miss you. Not the easy kind of missing, the kind that makes you look for someone in every quiet room. Yours, Emma." Jackson folds the letter and tucks it into his jacket pocket, close to his heart. There are some letters you don't reply to with words. You reply by showing up. A knock at the door. Emma opens it. Surprised. Jackson stands there, snow-dusted and shivering slightly. Jackson. "You forgot to put a return address." She blinks back tears. Emma. "Maybe I wanted you to come find it." She smiles faintly. Jackson. Mission accomplished. She steps aside, letting him in. The fire crackles again. the same one they'd sat beside months ago. Emma, you didn't have to come. Jackson, I did. I kept thinking, if I didn't, I'd spend the rest of my life fixing engines and wondering if I should have fixed this instead. She sets her mug down, eyes glistening. Emma, and Jackson, and I'm still scared of losing again, of loving again. But being scared with you feels better than being safe without you. Emma steps closer, her hands trembling slightly as she touches his cheek. Emma, I don't want promises, Jackson, just moments. He nods. Jackson, then let's make all of them count. They kiss, slow, familiar, and full of everything they've both been afraid to say. Jackson teaching Emma how to drive a snowmobile through frosted trails. Emma reading excerpts from her articles to Jackson while he works in the garage. Them laughing in the diner, stealing glances like it's still new. Snow melting, puddles forming, grass peeking through. Emma packs her notebook into a bag. Jackson watches from the doorway. Jackson, headed into town? Emma, yeah, sending my latest piece to the Chronicle. They're publishing it in print next month. He beams. Jackson, look at you, famous already. Emma, teasing, don't worry, I'll still come to your garage for free oil changes. He chuckles, then looks thoughtful. Jackson, you ever think about what's next? Emma, every day. But for once I'm not in a hurry to figure it out. She steps close, touches his chest gently. Emma, I like here. I like you. That's enough. They sit on the hood of his truck, watching the sun melt into the horizon. The world feels warm again. Jackson, when Claire died, I stopped believing life could start over. But then you showed up, with coffee and chaos, and proved me wrong. Emma, and when I left Chicago, I thought I was running away. Turns out, I was running toward something. Jackson, smiling. Toward me? Emma, toward us. Love doesn't fix what's broken. It reminds you that even the cracks can let the light in. Fairy lights twinkle above the small-town street. The annual Spring Lights Festival has begun. Emma and Jackson dance under the string lights. No stage, no music, just laughter and the sound of their hearts keeping time. Emma, you ever think maybe this is what happy looks like? Jackson, if it's not, I don't need to find out. She laughs, twirling as the lights glow around them. And just like that, winter let go. But love stayed.
Sunlight filters through white curtains. Emma sits at her wooden desk, typing. Her mug of coffee has gone cold, untouched for hours. On her screen, The Heart Remembers, an essay by Emma Carter, featured in the New York Chronicle. The notification tone of an incoming email breaks the silence. She clicks. It's from her editor, Olivia Miles. Emma, your piece is going viral. Chronicle wants to feature you in the New York Spring Writers Forum next week. Congratulations, this is big. Emma stares at the message, her breath catching. Sometimes dreams don't arrive with trumpets and applause. Sometimes they whisper quietly. Are you ready to leave again? Jackson's under a truck, fixing a leaking oil pan. The radio hums a slow country tune. Cal leans against the doorframe, grinning. Your girl's famous now. Jackson rolls out from under the truck, confused. What? Cal holds up his phone. The Chronicle's headline reads, Emma Carter, the writer who found home in Maplewood. Jackson's eyes soften as he reads. She found home all right. Cal smirks. Better make sure she doesn't forget where it is. Emma paces, phone in hand. Olivia on call. We'll fly you to New York Friday. You'll speak about your journey, how Maplewood inspired you. This could open doors, Emma. Publishers, sponsors.
maybe even a book deal. Emma, that's amazing. But her voice lacks excitement. She glances out the window. Jackson's truck is parked by the lake, faintly visible in the golden light. You deserve this, Em. Don't overthink it. She nods quietly. I'll be there. Jackson sits on his truck bed, skipping stones across the still water. Emma approaches, wrapping her arms around herself. So, you read it? Jackson's smiling. Yeah. Didn't know I was dating a celebrity. Hardly. Just one article. One article that'll take you right back to New York. She looks away, guilt flickering in her eyes. They invited me to a writer's forum. Just for a weekend. A weekend. He nods slowly. And after that? I don't know. Maybe I'll just see where it goes. He takes a deep breath. I want you to have everything you've worked for, Emma.
Sunlight filters through white curtains. Emma sits at her wooden desk, typing. Her mug of coffee has gone cold, untouched for hours. On her screen, The Heart Remembers, an essay by Emma Carter, featured in the New York Chronicle. The notification tone of an incoming email breaks the silence. She clicks. It's from her editor, Olivia Miles. Emma, your piece is going viral. Chronicle wants to feature you in the New York Spring Writers Forum next week. Congratulations. This is big. Emma stares at the message, her breath catching. Sometimes dreams don't arrive with trumpets and applause. Sometimes they whisper quietly. Are you ready to leave again? Jackson is under a truck, fixing a leaking oil pan. The radio hums a slow country tune. Cal leans against the doorframe, grinning. Your girl's famous now. Jackson rolls out from under the truck, confused. What? Cal holds up his phone. The Chronicle's headline reads, Emma Carter, the writer who found home in Maplewood. Jackson's eyes soften as he reads. She found home all right. Cal smirks. Better make sure she doesn't forget where it is. Emma paces, phone in hand. Olivia on call. We'll fly you to New York Friday. You'll speak about your journey, how Maplewood inspired you. This could open doors, publishers, sponsors, maybe even a book deal. That's amazing. But her voice lacks excitement. She glances out the window. Jackson's truck is parked by the lake, faintly visible in the golden light. You deserve this, Em. Don't overthink it. She nods quietly. I'll be there. Jackson sits on his truck bed, skipping stones across the still water. Emma approaches, wrapping her arms around herself. So, you read it? Jackson, smiling. Yeah. Didn't know I was dating a celebrity. Hardly. Just one article. One article that'll take you right back to New York. She looks away, guilt flickering in her eyes. They invited me to a writer's forum, just for a weekend. A weekend. He nods slowly. And after that? I don't know. Maybe I'll just see where it goes. He takes a deep breath. I want you to have everything you've worked for, Emma. I do. But I'm not good at halfway things. You're either here or you're not. Her voice trembles. Don't make me choose. I'm not. I'm just telling you, choices have a way of making themselves. Silence stretches between them. The sun dips below the trees. Emma stands by the gate, clutching her boarding pass. Her phone buzzes. A text from Jackson. Come back when you're done chasing the stars. I'll leave the porch light on. She exhales shakily and boards. Montage, New York rising. Soft jazz plays over city sounds. Emma walks through Manhattan, overwhelmed but inspired. A billboard flashes, the New York Chronicle Writers Forum, featuring Emma Carter. She reads excerpts of her essay to an audience that hangs on every word. Cameras flash, applause echoes. She signs autographs, smiles for photos, but her eyes drift to her phone between every handshake. The city glows outside her window. Emma sits cross-legged on the bed, surrounded by fan letters and interview requests. One letter catches her eye. Handwritten, no return address. Inside is a simple line. Don't forget the town that taught you to breathe again. She knows the handwriting instantly. Emma whispers, Jackson. Jackson sits alone in his garage, the radio playing quietly. He picks up a photograph, Emma sitting on the truck hood, smiling in autumn sunlight. He traces her face with his thumb, then sets it down. He loved her enough to let her go, but sometimes letting go feels like standing still while the world keeps moving. Emma is being interviewed live. The host smiles warmly. Your essay touched millions. What inspired you to write it? A place called Maplewood, and a man who taught me that love doesn't have to be loud to be real. The audience murmurs softly. Do you think you'll ever go back? Emma smiles faintly. Some stories aren't finished yet. Emma steps off the train, suitcase in hand. The summer air feels different, sweeter. The town looks unchanged. The diner lights flicker, kids ride bikes down Main Street, and somewhere in the distance, a truck engine hums. Jackson wipes grease off his hands, unaware she's standing at the door. Emma, you still fix everything that's broken? He turns, startled, and then his smile grows slowly, like sunlight breaking through clouds. Only what's worth saving. She steps closer, nervous and hopeful. What about us? He studies her for a long moment, then takes a deep breath. You tell me. She opens her notebook, the one she's carried for months, and hands it to him. Inside are pages filled with letters addressed to Jackson. Every night in New York, I wrote one. I just never sent them. He flips through, eyes glistening. That's a lot of unsent mail. I guess I was waiting until I knew where to deliver them. He sets the book down and pulls her into an embrace. You always had the words. I just needed to hear them. The same hill where they had once watched autumn sunsets. Fireflies dance in the air. Do you ever wonder what we'll look like in 10 years? Probably older, probably grayer. But if I get to sit here with you again, I'll take it. She smiles, resting her head against his shoulder. I used to think home was a place. Now I know it's a person. He squeezes her hand gently. Then welcome home. Emma publishes her first book, When the Leaves Fall in October. The dedication reads, For the man who taught me to stay. Jackson opens a second garage, naming it Reed and Carter Auto Care. They repaint the cottage together, laughing as paint splatters their faces. Emma teaches writing workshops in Maplewood High School. Autumn leaves fall again, and they dance beneath them. Love isn't about finding someone who completes you. It's about finding someone who reminds you you were whole all along. And when the leaves fall again, you'll remember every season that brought you here.
The town looks older but untouched by time. Same brick diner, same lake, same maple trees bursting in gold and amber. A little girl, Sophie Reed, 8, runs down the path, her laughter echoing through the crisp air, a notebook clutched in her small hands. Sophie calling, "Mom, Dad, the leaves are falling again!" Her mother steps out of the cottage, Emma Carter Reed, now in her late 30s.
Her hair is longer, streaked with sunlight, her eyes the same warm hazel that once searched for peace. Emma, smiling. They always do, sweetheart. Behind her, Jackson Reed, now bearded and calm, fixes the fence while watching them with quiet contentment. It's strange how life circles back, how one season can become a lifetime. Emma sits on the porch swing, typing on her laptop. Beside her, a steaming mug of tea and Sophie's drawings of autumn leaves. The screen shows the title, When the Leaves Fall Again, a decade later. Sophie climbs into her lap. Sophie, are you writing another story about you and Daddy? Emma, smiling. Maybe, but it's not really about us anymore. Sophie, what's it about then? Emma, about how love changes but never really ends. Sophie thinks for a moment. Does that mean it's forever? Emma kisses her forehead. If you take care of it, yes. Just like the leaves, they always come back. Jackson walks through the shop, now bustling with activity. A sign above the entrance reads, Reed and Carter Auto Care, since 2017. Cal, older and slower, still works the counter. Cal, grinning. Can you believe this? 10 years and not a single complaint from your wife about grease on your hands? Jackson, that's because she stopped trying. They laugh. Cal, ever think about retiring? Jackson glances at a framed photo on the wall. Him and Emma under the maple trees, leaves falling around them. Not when life still feels this good. Emma walks along the shore, notebook in hand. She stops where she and Jackson once stood that first autumn. The water glimmers gold. She opens her notebook. Inside are 2 envelopes, one labeled to Jackson, the other to Sophie. Every story eventually finds its ending, but some endings are written long before the final page. The family gathers around the table. Sophie's finishing her homework while Jackson and Emma share quiet glances. Sophie, can we go see Grandma this weekend? Jackson, sure, Pumpkin. We'll drive up Saturday. Emma, smiling, you can read her your poem about the leaves. Sophie beams. She'll love it. Emma looks at Jackson. There's a stillness behind her smile. He notices. You okay? She nods softly. Yeah, just grateful. Jackson and Emma sit under their favorite maple tree, just like years ago. Leaves drift lazily around them. Emma, remember the first time we sat here? Jackson, you were scared of getting dirt on your boots. She laughs. And I was scared of letting anyone in. He chuckles. Guess we both got over it. Emma, you ever wonder we'd still have found each other if I never came to Maplewood? Jackson, I think some souls are meant to collide, no matter how far apart they start. A pause. She rests her head on his shoulder. Emma whispers, Promise me you'll tell her our story, all of it? Jackson, confused. Why are you talking like that? She smiles faintly. Just promise. He nods, uneasy but loving. I promise. The house is quiet. A storm rumbles softly outside. Jackson wakes in the middle of the night. The other side of the bed is empty. He finds Emma sitting by the window, wrapped in a blanket, watching the rain. Jackson, couldn't sleep? Emma, I was just thinking how every chapter we lived felt like it was written by something bigger than us. Jackson, maybe it was. She looks at him tenderly. If I could live it all again, even the waiting, the distance, the fear, I would, every second. He takes her hand. Then it was worth it. She leans against him, whispering, Keep the porch light on, always. He frowned slightly. Where are you going? But she only closes her eyes, smiling softly as the rain continues to fall. The leaves are falling again. Jackson stands by a small headstone that reads, Emma Carter Reed, 1987 to 2024. To love someone is to trust time.
He kneels, placing a folded notebook beside the flowers. Narrator, VO. Love doesn't end when someone leaves. It lingers, in letters, in laughter, in the way the wind carries their voice through the trees. Sophie, now 9, sits beside Jackson under the maple tree. She reads from her mother's notebook. Sophie, reading. When the leaves fall in October, remember, love might change shape, but it never disappears. It simply finds new ways to be seen. Jackson listens silently, tears glistening, but a smile forming. Sophie, Mom wrote that for us, didn't she? Jackson, yeah, Pumpkin. She always knew how to say things I never could. Sophie, do you think she can see us? Jackson, softly, I think she's everywhere the leaves fall. The wind blows gently, scattering golden leaves around them. Sophie, growing older, writing in her mother's notebook. Jackson teaching her how to fix an old car, laughing just like Emma used to. The town celebrating the Emma Carter Writing Scholarship, awarded every fall to a Maplewood student. A plaque at the Chronicle office, dedicated to Emma Carter Reed, whose words reminded us that love is a season without end. The porch light glowing every night, even when no one's outside. Sophie, now 20, stands by the same lake where her parents once met. She places flowers on the water and opens her mother's notebook. Sophie, reading. When the leaves fall again, don't be sad. It only means life remembers how beautiful change can be. She closes the notebook, looking at the horizon. A gentle breeze lifts a swirl of red and gold leaves. One lands in her hand. She smiles. Sophie, whispering, Hi, Mom. And so the story never really ended. It simply changed hands, from the woman who found love in Maplewood to the daughter who learned to keep it alive. Because when the leaves fall in October, love falls with them, again and again.